So yesterday, I alluded to some macro, big picture analysis, and I was talking about $24,000 Bitcoin, and that number is going to come up a lot today, 24,000. And I've got some really good news because my 4 indicators that I use to identify a macro low, 3 out of 4 indicators have gone off. So is this a macro low or a major low? We're going to talk about that today. We're going to jump in and see if we can take a live trade, if we see anything popping up here that is spicy, if you want to call it that. What else do we want to talk about? All right, so we got, and by the way, welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris Mitchell. Bitcoin Advisors, what are we here for? We're like a Bitcoin coach, here to coach you when's a good time to buy, more importantly, if it's a good time to sell. And hey, you can pick up the phone and call somebody and talk to a live person on the phone who actually knows what they're doing, right? In a land of YouTubers that just kind of throw out wild predictions and draw squiggly lines, we want to be a voice of reason in a storm of chaos that is, well, you know, I'm sure you guys all saw the meme thing yesterday, like you're poking at the Bitcoin stick thing and then boom, you get lasered in the face with the big Darth Maul candle or a big green girthy candle to your face. So, all right, a little bit out of my comfort zone today, but I'm going to jump right into it. And again, Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name's Chris, and I'll just start to talk about the 4 indicators I use to identify a macro low is in. And the first one is going to be a higher low on the weekly time frame. And we did get the first higher low, which we identified over the past couple of weeks. So this is your first higher low on Bitcoin's price action on the weekly time frame, a very powerful time frame since the bull trap back in February of 2022. So technically this was a bit of a trend reversal. We had a higher low and a higher high. However, that failed and got invalidated as soon as we took out 37,000. But here we have a very similar situation going on right now. We got the first higher low on the weekly time frame, and we could print the first higher high if this week closes a candle body closure anywhere above 20,940. So that is kind of the first etchings, the first signal we need to see for a macro low to be in. The second thing we want to see is our volatility indicator come from an extremely low region. And what I would define as an extreme low is below the 10 percentile. And you can see that, and by the way, that's the BBWT, that is the Bollinger Band with percentile. What does this indicator do? It measures the distance of the Bollinger Bands. Okay, so it measures the width of these Bollinger Bands. You got the Trollinger Band in the middle and the Bollinger Bands, and they are expanding now. So that tells us volatility is expanding. And so we've got extremely low read, below 10 percentile, and expansion I define as above 20 percentile. So we've got the second piece of the puzzle for a macro low to be put in. The third thing I want to see is called the blue buy signal, one of my favorite indicators here. And this is the hash ribbons indicator. Don't ask me what it is or how it works. All I know is when you see the blue buy signal, you better hope your lucky socks that you have some longs in, because this thing has performed very, very well. Let's just test a few of the last few blue buy signals, and I'll try and clean up this graph for you. And what have they produced in the past? So this blue buy signal fired off right here. If you just blindly took these signals, blue buy signal right here, that was 74%. This blue buy signal right here, this was a 245% gainer. And you might say, Chris, that's crazy. How does the blue buy signal work? Well, you can look it up on TradingView. It's fairly complicated, and it measures something with the hash rate. So again, TA is not an exact science. It's more of an art form and something you learn over time. And we have a link in the description below if you want to set up TradingView just like this for free. Just check out the link. It'll say free TradingView tutorial. You can get started. And okay, so blue buy signal again. This produced a 36% gainer. That wasn't much. This one right here. Blue buy signal from the low to the high, 50%. Gosh, this thing been pretty darn good. 50%. What is this one right here? Boom. 287%. Okay. So we've got the higher low on the weekly time frame. We've got the extremely low volatility, which again, we defined as the BBWP getting below the 10 percentile, which is right back here. And we just came out of an extremely low volatility read telling us, hey, a macro move is about to take place. And lastly, the last thing I want to see on a macro trend reversal would be a golden cross on the daily time frame. So not as powerful as the weekly, but it has been quite powerful. You can see this golden cross. What is a golden cross? It is when the 55 exponential moving average crosses the purple 200 exponential moving average. And I'll just measure out a couple of the gainers as we've seen a golden cross right here. And again, these indicators you can buy blindly and do pretty good. You know, 20% there. Not bad. This golden cross right here, 700%, not bad. And this one, by the way, the death cross is on the other side, right? When the green 55 crosses the purple 200 to the downside, but we're just looking at the golden crosses. Blindly buying these indicators. Again, TA, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This golden cross produced a 164% gainer. And what I would recommend, again, is don't take my advice for it. Go learn and backtest for yourself. You know, look at what the golden crosses have produced in past prior market history. I'll show you this last one, which is a real face melter back in 2015. Bitcoin 200, and I'll never forget, guys. This is when Bitcoin was $100. I think it was right around January 2015, somewhere around $100. This kid next to me at work, he told me, "You got to buy Bitcoin," and I laughed at him. I said, "I'll never buy that magic internet money." Why? I was a precious metals broker, gold and silver. It would have been sacrilegious, right? I was selling physical gold. And he was telling me, "Oh, you got to go buy, you know, the Antichrist money, the mark of the beast money, right?" And I laughed at him and I said, "Hey, I'll never buy that magic internet money." And what happened is I watched Bitcoin go from $100 in January 2015 to $3,000. $3,000. I didn't end up getting into Bitcoin until 2017, around $3,000. And needless to say, from 3,000 to 20,000, we had a big party and we made a lot of money. But going back to these golden crosses, this golden cross lasted you from $261 all the way up to $20,000. So there are so many underlying market dynamics and things that you can use to your benefit. The moving averages, for example. If you just simply buy the golden cross and then wait till the death cross happens, right, to exit your position, you know, some people trade like that. And you can, you know, even though you bought it $200 and it went to $8,000, right, you missed out on all that, right? But you still, had a pretty nice year. Same thing here. Let's say you marketed in at 5,400 and you waited for the death cross at 6,800, right? So 5,400 to 6,800. 39% gain, 40% gain, not bad at all. And that's from May of 2019 to December of 2019. So, call it 7 months, 10 months, whatever you want to call it, 9 months, I guess that would be 40% gainer, not bad. So those are the first three indicators I use to identify the macro low is in. The last one, which has not produced or fired off yet, and is kind of the last piece of the puzzle, is the golden cross. We have not gotten that golden cross yet. As a matter of fact, we're still in a strong death cross. The last death cross came in right here. So the big question is right now, lower high or not? Are we going to pull back first, or are we going to keep onwards and upwards? And I would say, guys, again, this is something nobody else is talking about. I haven't seen it anywhere on the internet or on Twitter, crypto Twitter, anywhere out there. Nobody's talking about the dollar and what the dollar is doing on the 6-month time frame. And again, this was a gravestone, a bit of a bearish candle right here. Sorry, not a gravestone. Call it a shooting star or falling star, whatever you want to call it. This is a bearish candle. And very likely the dollar comes down to 99.50. And this is what gives us the relief rally in Bitcoin that we're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and give some short-term targets for that relief rally, as we have already we're beginning to see the etchings of, some of the higher term time frame indicators fire off for kind of a macro trend reversal. But again, the dollar 5-day time frame, we are still crossed down. Stokes are crossed down as long as the 5 days down below 103. So my kind of line in the sand for warnings that the pullback is, coming, or kind of the bear market rally is over. The first warning would be a daily closure on the dollar back above 104.50. If the dollar rips to the upside, risk assets will get shot in the face. Okay, so that's it for the dollar. I'm going to get any questions out there?
Tom Crown official says the first ever weekly death cross is going to be in about 2 weeks.
On the US dollar?
I believe he's talking about Bitcoin.
No, because this is the death cross on the daily for the dollar, which it couldn't be the first time. Oh, he's talking about Bitcoin. Yeah.
Talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah, that is present on the board. It actually already happened on the 5-day time frame. You can see the death cross right there. And as I've been saying on the channel, guys, a perfect death cross, you want to see price action sucked up into the cross, right? So what does that look like? That looks like Bitcoin coming up to 24,000, and that was almost the title of my video. And then you want to see it spit back out. And that would be a perfect death cross. The 5-day already got it. The weekly is, depending upon what chart you're looking at, let's see if it's present on CMEs. No, it is not. Let's go back to the BLX. Yeah, so, these are still quite far away from each other. And I would not get all your bear dreams and, start having bear dreams, if you know what I mean, until that does happen officially. What I think is more present right now is on the daily time frame. Well, and this is still far away, right? This is still extremely far away from happening, but that's the last piece of the puzzle I'd want to see for kind of a macro low to be put in, is a golden cross on the daily time frame, which would represent, we already got the silver cross when the 21 crosses the 55. And by the way, this is a very powerful cross right here. When the 21 crosses the 55, the results have been phenomenal going back. And by the way, here was the first cross, the silver cross, which was a fake out bull trap. And it's usually not the first cross that gets the move. It's the second cross. So just interesting note, side note there. We got the silver cross going in right there. The next step would be the purple 200 needs to cross the, let's see if I can make this a little more visible for you guys. Give me a little love here, Trading View. Here we go. Nope, it's not doing it for me. So anyways, everybody wants to know when is the rally over and what can we expect? And again, 24,000 is the number to keep in your mind. And here is why. And if you've been following, by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe and tickle the bell. All right. Do something fun with your fingers and mouse. And hey, if anybody wants me to check out any altcoins, well, after I'm done covering Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm happy to do that. So,
he has a quick question. It says, the flickering lantern, we're still expecting to see 12,000 to 14,000 Bitcoin in 2023, right?
Great question. So, where are those targets from here? And everybody familiar with the Fibonacci retracement tool? This macro consolidation on the weekly time frame, as we broke down here, this target at 10,500 is still valid as long as we do not, really guys, as long as we do not start closing back above 53,000. That is the 382 right there in my book. So bear market rally could come all the way up here, guys. And it could really get going. And yes, I would be of the opinion, as long as we're below this level for 2023, that yes, there is going to be a bear, the Bitcoin bear is going to come out and take some people's teeth. And yeah, we could see that $10,000 hit. So it's all about invalidation and validation. And, currently I am looking for a little bit more of a bounce, and here's why. So first bit of statistics here. The average gain on this read right here, and this is a volatility momentum indicator play. And what that refers to is, so when volatility expands on the weekly time frame from a low level, alongside the stochastics crossing up from a low level, the average move has been 49% if you back test it. So we don't have time to do that today, but you can do it yourself. And when the volatility expands, the average move and the momentum is going to get the direction of the trend. So 49% from the low, from expansion right here, which I would define right here, 49% from there. I'm going to get my ruler out. And what do you know? Where does 49% come up to? 24,000, right at that level. Coming in right at that level. And if you've been following our channel for some time, I've been saying this. Look, as long as we're below this level, I don't really even care if we take out 21 and we take out 21.8. I don't really care. This is the key level it needs to take out. So 49% there. Also, the 2-day volatility momentum signature. Also, the average move. This is pretty much played out. Average move on this one's about 30% from the low to the high. So from the low to the high, 30%. Yeah, we just hit that move. So if you guys took that trade, congratulations. Now, what else do we want to see? The daily here is in the critical zone. So a lot of people call this oversold. Oversold. No, that doesn't mean oversold. That means trend is in motion, and it could stay up here for some time, for some days and days and days. It will cross down below 21,200 today. We're at 21,363. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this. As long as Bitcoin is above this pivot right here, and an easy way to use it is on the daily time frame, on the daily. From the low to the high, as long as we are above this level, the 382, I am looking for some more upside. Now, what do I think is more likely here is that we get a little bit of a pullback and come back down and test 19.5 to even as low as 18.3. As long as we can hold this call it 18,400, then I'm going to expect something like this to happen.
Fancy230 says thoughts on Ethereum Classic.
All right, so that's it for Bitcoin. I'm expecting 24,000 as long as this region holds and we put in a higher low in this region. And Barna, we're in interesting times right now. We've got inflation, the Fed lying to us about inflation, right? Inflation, there's no way inflation went down to 2% or 3%, or I think last quarter it was negative 0.1%. Total garbage. Year over year inflation was 6% or 6.5%. We all know they're lying through their teeth. The end of this month, they're going to come out with the Fed rate hike, right? And we know the Fed rate hike can have major impacts on the market. And the reality is, I don't think the stock market is priced in a recession yet. This talk of a soft landing, I think, is a complete farce. It's a bear market rally, in my opinion. I could be wrong, and I have invalidation points for, because look, if we want to get bullish, I'm happy to be a bull. I am a long-term believer in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, probably the best opportunity for freedom for the entire world when it comes to ownership and finances and getting rid of our corrupt government. Smash the like button if you guys think the government is totally corrupt and they're running the country into the ground and you can't trust them farther than you can throw them, right? Smash the like button if you hate Joe Biden. If you hate him, but if you wonder how a geriatric guy who can barely talk is a president of the powers of the world, right? It's just absolutely crazy. So crazy things can happen. That's why you have to have risk management and you have to have an investment strategy. If you don't have what's called an entry point, an exit point, and risk management, you are just gambling.
There were a couple good questions on the TikTok. Do you want to
Joe, what questions do we have?
So we have a question right here. Do you support the 2025-ish true bull run time frame?
If you're talking about the halving, everybody thinks to the moon after the halving. I am not, unfortunately, I'm not in that camp that, you can just buy blindly before the halving, because after the halving, that it's guaranteed to make new all-time highs. No, I don't think that is the case. In fact, because the S&P 500 did this, right? So taking a look at the 6-month time frame on the S&P 500. Let me get on my regular chart here. This is called a 6-month bearish engulfing candle on the S&P 500. This has only happened 2 other times in history, okay? Once was right here in 1973. Bearish engulfing candle. I know it's hard to see on the internet, but this is a very powerful time frame. 6 months of price action. And that is really going to, obviously we saw some downside here, and that was a 50% drawdown in 1973. Oddly enough, when they took us off the gold standard, and you guys all know gold is ripping to the upside too right now. Gold is going to the moon. So this was a 10-year bear market in 1973 after that. Inflationary 70s. Remember, Paul Volcker rose interest rates from 12 to 18%. He rose them 50%. Meanwhile, the last point here I'm going to point out, this 6-month bearish engulfing candle, that was 1929, ahead of the Great Depression, a 20-year bear market. So we just had the same signal fire off here. Boom. So at a minimum, I'm looking for the S&P 500 to come down to this green box, which is about $3,200 to $3,000 this year. And that would line up with Bitcoin going down to about 10,000. And that, I think, is probably where the life-changing opportunity. I mean, Bitcoin could go down lower. Not saying that, it's guaranteed to bounce at 10,000, right? You can get a wick below there. But short term, we have some major low signals firing off. And I'm happy to call the macro low if we do get that golden cross on the daily time frame. But as far as I can tell, the S&P 500 is still completely overvalued based off of the PE ratios. They have not priced in the recession. And here's what's important this year. Either the recession comes separate from a liquidity crisis in the bond market, or it happens at the same time. If they happen separately, I think it creates the opportunity for a softer, quote, softer landing. If they happen at the same time, which we all know the government is orchestrating something to destroy our wealth. It's the biggest liquidity grab in history. Question, go ahead.
It says, if not 2025, the flickering lantern says, when do you see Bitcoin pushing way past ATM?
Great question.
It says can be a wide time frame guess. ATH is what they mean, all-time high.
All-time high, yep. So this is the total market cap coming in at 953 billion right now. We just had a huge increase on total market cap too, by the way. $954 billion on total market cap. So of that market cap, I think Bitcoin dominance, let's check it out. Bitcoin dominance is at 43%. So 40% of, call it $1 trillion. Let's use a round number, right? 40% of $1 trillion is 400 billion. So the market cap on Bitcoin, roughly 400 billion. In order for Bitcoin to hit $250,000, which I think probably happens over the next 3 to 5 years, I think there's a good chance that Bitcoin's market cap goes from 400 billion to trillion, like it was last year or the year before that, all the way up to 3 to 5 trillion. Once Bitcoin's market cap goes to 3 to 5 trillion, you're going to see new all-time highs. And I think probably when Bitcoin's market cap recaptures $1 trillion, right, then we'll see above 69,000. When it hits 2 trillion, you probably over 100 grand. 3 trillion probably gets you to that quarter trillion dollar mark. And that's, so I don't have a time frame, and I don't have a crystal ball, but I've got some really good indicators here that tell us, hey, here's when probably a decent time to buy on the other side of the fence. And that's, don't FOMO in, guys. The number one thing, if you're watching this and you haven't bought crypto before, you do not have to FOMO in. Fear of missing out. It's not too late. There is going to be another opportunity to buy some of the lows and make life-changing wealth. You just got to get educated now. And at Bitcoin Advisors, hey, everybody that's got crypto right now and you're young, you're probably on TikTok, right? You can put Bitcoin in your IRA and grow your wealth tax-free. You can put lots of cryptos in your IRA, grow it tax-free, and laugh to the bank when you're, 10 years from now. Like, how much will you regret it that you didn't put the max you can contribute in a Bitcoin IRA is I think it's 7,000 or 6,500, depending upon your income bracket. And why not put it in a Roth IRA so it grows tax-free? What's your question?
So they want to know, when is the course dropping and how much it's going to be?
Awesome question. That is to be determined. It will not be expensive. I'm, more of a giver. So please just show a little love, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody. We did do a drawing yesterday, I believe, for a Silver American Eagle proof, but nobody did what they were supposed to do. So I'm going to bust out the Silver American Eagle proof. Oh, shoot, I don't even have the coin. Oh, you know what? I've got a bunch of coins, guys. I've got a bunch of these guys.
And they also want to see our indicator about Bitcoin.
Well, these are pretty much the indicators that cover Bitcoin, but here's what I'm going to do. What indicator? Which one? Which one do they want to
I
see?
guess they want to go through all of them, see which one they are.
So the indicators I use here, and by the way, you can set up this all free on TradingView. And by the way, here's the Silver American Eagle proof that we're going to give away. It comes with a certificate. This is a 2013, okay? I don't know if you guys know what a Silver American Eagle proof is, but they are a special coin minted by the U.S. Mint. There's a limited mintage every year, and they are struck with a special die 3 times and then polished by hand. And so people collect these coins just for collectability, and these coins have actually outperformed bullion like 2 to 1 over the last year, and they're actually flying to the moon right now because silver, you can check out silver right here. And by the way, gold and silver, not a bad buy if you ask me.
So what do they have to do to win this?
I'm going to make this real simple here. Today, all you got to do, subscribe to our YouTube channel and our TikTok, and then share. And by the way, the YouTube channel is in our profile. Share the link to the YouTube channel with 5 of your friends via email, and then take a screenshot of it and then email me at info@bitcoinadvisors.com. That's info@bitcoinadvisors.com. I'll have my guys throw up a in the comments or in the YouTube description. We'll put the email, Bitcoin Advisors. It's spelled ADVIZERS. Yes, it's because we have really cool hats, and we got guys in a back office in a sweatshop. They all have visors, and all they do is study charts all day long. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a $75. The buyback on it, I think it's $78, and you get a free coin. All you got to do is share the channel, share a little love, and check back in with us. I'm going to do the drawing tomorrow. So whoever's in the email today, we're going to give it away tomorrow, and hope you guys check back in for a live stream tomorrow. In the complex world of Bitcoin and macroeconomics, we are here to give you a bird's eye view from the macro level down to the micro level. We're going to marry the two together and let them have a little baby and give you the best education we can every single day. I hope you enjoy the video.